And here's a steal. Nolan foot short-handed, skates in. Chance. Back-to-back games with a short-handed goal from Nolan Foot, his 27th of the year.
We're going through training camp and like everybody else, but the committee is, fully involved and marching forward. I think the portal was opening next week for the volunteers and things like that, which I think we have right around 500 enrolled already, and they're looking to, have just over 600 probably. So that side is going well, and then the planning for all the outside events aside from in Prospera Place, everything's rolling right along. So I think they're really excited, and now it's just a matter of getting our team ready to go and making the additions or subtractions that we feel we need to do to have a competitive team that has a chance to be successful. Both Hamaliak and Lee ended up, obviously Hamaliak was hurt when we traded for him. He had a knee injury and had surgery. And then Jake Lee ended up having to have surgery for a sports hernia once we got him. So they both were a little bit slow getting going this summer, but both have reported to camp ready to go. And then, of course, we didn't allow them to play in any of the exhibition games as any of our guys that are going to pro camps, we hold them out. I think that Hamaliak will play a big role also, but certainly Nolan is, he's put in his time here, and, in my mind, he's one of the premier shooters in our league, and, Topping's been around, and I think that, we're looking forward to seeing him progress and raise his game. Him getting invited to Carolina's camp, I think, was huge from our perspective to get him a little bit of, experience there and just a little more incentive to work at the game. So I'm really excited about him. And the other guy that's had a real good camp so far is Liam Kindry. So we're really, this is a guy who won the BC Major Midget League scoring title a few years ago and then has had 2 tough years of injuries. And I think that he's going to be a player that's going to kind of slide in and be, a surprise for a lot of people for us. He's a first-round pick, and, he's probably he ate a lot of minutes last year just because of the way our team was made up. I hope we can pull back some minutes on him this year just to keep him in a reasonable number. But I think with the addition of Lee and with Sean Comrie, we've been really excited about him. We acquired him from Brandon. He was at Denver University last year, so he's looked really strong in camp. And then the other guy that's come back and has been really good is Devin Steffler, a player we have that's out of Colorado and Austria. So he's had a great summer also. So, I think, losing Thompson was really a blow to us from a power play perspective. But I think the addition of Lee and Comrie, certainly going to help us get to a spot there where we've got some decent depth anyways. Well, he's got a lot of the skills that those players from that part of the world have. He's a Czech player. He was on their Halinka team, and, it did well. But I think, I like to reserve judgment on these guys for, a couple of months anyways, just to be fair to them. Sometimes they come in and, have lots of, glitter. And then as the games get harder and harder, it gets harder and harder for them to play that way. Whereas with him, I think we're going to be realistic in what we expect from him and try and control, the situations we put him in so that he's always in a position and an opportunity to succeed. I think we're going to really, play that by ear almost and see who steps forward and takes control. Bazran, kind of got running with it towards the end of last year, but I think that, we've got 4 guys here right now that are, fighting and, competing for the opportunity. So it's going to be interesting to see. We're going to give them all an opportunity to play some extended time just to see who's ready to go, and then we'll probably, reduce it down to 3 before we start the season. I don't think there's going to be much free lunch here in this division at all because, the Giants are certainly going to be a really good team again. And I thought, the last 20 games of the season last year, Kamloops was a real dangerous team for anybody who is going to play them, and they returned pretty well all those guys this year. So, and with a new coach in place up there, who I think will do a real good job. So I think it's going to be a real challenge. But our team with Adam Foote coaching it now right from the start of the year, and we've added Vern Fiddler, we still have Chris Millette here. We have a pretty good group of guys behind the bench that I think will have learned a lot last year for sure, getting ready for this year, and Adam. And, we're excited about having Vern Fiddler. We've got somebody that's working with our forwards now. With Adam, you're talking about an all-star NHL player and a defenseman. So I think that he's got lots to offer. I thought that he did a real good job with the group of defensemen. He's had a lot to do, him and Chris Millette, with Korzak and Thompson turned into what they did. And then, we worked it together with some overages on the back last year. But I think that this group is anxious. They're willing to spend a lot of time. He's a real teacher, so I'm excited about that. And also, I think that Vern Fiddler will bring, he's a guy that made a living playing in the NHL by, outworking and stealing jobs from other guys. He was never drafted, and he played with tremendous enthusiasm and found a way to find the niche, to find a way to stay on teams. So I think that he brings a lot to our players. He's, his foundation for success was working hard all the time, and I think that he'll bring that to our team for sure.